Welcome, Ishan, for our conversation after a long while. Uh,
Yes.
Thank you for accepting this invite. And today, as we discussed, that we are going to talk about our journey together in the coaching engagement.
Mm.
So, first question which I want to ask you is, tell me a little bit about you, like your experience, your background, um, what do you do in day-to-day life? Who are you, basically? So, the quick nutshell, so that whosoever is watching this can really understand and gauge an idea about you. Who are you?
All right. So hi, I am Ishan of Manu. I am working as a senior software engineer currently in living in Bangalore. And basically, I'm from Himachal Pradesh, 32 years old, and I have almost 9 years of experience, or close to a decade of experience in IT now.
Mm, yeah. And tell me something about your old experiences prior to this, like your startup experiences.
Yes. So talking about me, like I started my career in IT, but very soon I started feeling that I can build things on my own. I love building things, so why not build something for myself? Because I enjoy that building journey.
Mm,
And I had, as a part of that, I used to do multiple side projects. And in one of the cases, I decide why not try to build a company out of a something, or why not do something that actually helps someone, that is useful for someone, and the work is more meaningful. So I created a startup around that, and the first startup was actually around, the insight was, this was around 2016, and the insight was that there was lots of courses which were catering to engineering or science fields, but there were not many courses which were catering to the humanities field and all these fields. So I
mm,
was thinking that why can't we have a website where we have courses and which are explained with nice animation. All the concepts of subjects like psychology or something like that are explained with nice animations
yeah.
and all. So
Okay.
I tried building that. Then apart from that, I also tried building a website where we were sharing, people were sharing their life stories. I called it the writing flows, because for me, when I used to think, I used to think, and then once my head was full, I used to just sit and it used to all flow out in front of the keyboard. So my writing was not thought out writing, it was just what was flowing through me. So I called it writing flows. So that was also one of the startup that I did. And the but I soon realized with my experience that building something is another thing and selling it is altogether a different thing. So that was where I struggled, and
Good.
eventually I had stop the startup and return back to job. And after that, I worked again for 2 3 years, and after 3 years again this bug bit me. Startup bug, I could not shake it off, so I tried my hand once again at another startup which I was trying to do. But then again it was same, I faced the challenge of selling, and that kind of shattered me. The first startup when I did, it was something where I wanted to continue, but as it was not getting any results, there was this pressure from parents also. They were also seeing that we're not making progress. And ultimately, I had to almost begrudgingly return back to job
Mm,
at that time.
yeah. Sure.
So that also kind of had a experience in my mind, and I kind of, I think, uh, made this belief, I would say, that money is very important. Because what I realized was that I was, even though I was enjoying doing what I was doing in the startup, but since it was not making money, it was not sustainable.
Yeah.
So to sustainably do what I have to do, this money belief became ingrained, that money is very important.
Sure. We'll talk about that. Thank you for the quick intro and background. Uh,
Mm.
how did we connect together? Like, what made you connect with me? And just tell me a little bit about you. a little more about that connection and starting point, and what was going on in your mind at time.
Okay. So, like after my second startup, I again joined job, and it was going fine for 3 4 years. But after almost 4 years, I had recently shifted to this, recently switched companies to this new company, where I was not enjoying the work that I was doing. And since I was not enjoying the work, it was kind of affecting in my performance. And like I was not able to give my best because of that. And because of that, there was some pressure from the manager side. Like I need to improve my game. But since I was not enjoying the work, I was finding it very hard to give my best. And that was creating a lot of stress in my life, I would say. And I didn't know how to handle that stress. So this was the first time when in my life when I started to be on BP medications, I would say. So so that is when I realized that it is the work that needs to be done is not about the job or something, but it is about internally about me on how I deal with stress, or how I take situations internally. So that is when I decided that maybe I need to take help of a coach who can guide me and who can uh, help me learn how to handle these situations better. And that is when I started looking for a coach. And I think I remember I put a query on bark.com, and that's how Kapil found me and he gave me a call.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Kapil, that's how you gave me. And after the first conversation that we did, we like the very first conversation, I felt like Kapil was has heard me, he has understood me, and but he was not in a hurry to onboard me. The good thing was he invited me that to his home to discuss it further. And I went to his home, we discussed it further. And Kapil, I think after that session, that first session that he had, that had a really good impact on me. And that's how I decided that I should continue uh, engagement with you.
And then I believe we deferred our continuation mindset that let's get into the engagement for one more session. And then you
Hmm.
took that decision.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. There were 2 sessions that we did. And once I saw the value in the session, that is when I decided for a longer commitment. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for this quick update. Now, you have talked about stress, work stress, extreme stress, but we have talked about much beyond than stress. And I remember you had an experience of some kind of a coaching engagement before, also, maybe a year before or so. What was
Hmm.
that experience and versus now, and how, what was your mind state? Just tell me a little bit about that.
So, yes, before that also, actually, my experience had been like that. Like, I was in my hometown in a New Year party, and I went to a New Year party, and there I found this very interesting fellow. And when I talked to him, I got to know that he's a life coach. So I did not engage on a session immediately, but I kept in touch with him because I found him as a very interesting person, and I'm still in touch with him, and I still value that person a lot.
Mm.
And over a period of time, when I was looking for life coaches, thought, why not start with them? So
Yeah.
that is when I started the engagement with them. And but the change that I felt, like what was like we there the goal was creating external abundance, I would say. Like one of the goals that we made was how to reach, like how to change our life in such a way that I can reach that money milestone. As I told you before, that I had this belief that money is important.
Yeah.
So one thing we started working on was how to build 7 CR in 7 years, I would say.
Mm.
So that was the kind of thing. But I kind of did not resonate very much with that approach. And that is why I think the session could not continue for long, I
Mm.
would say,
Yeah. Okay.
because it felt more like an external based approach where someone is telling me what to do
Mm.
rather than hearing me on I uh, what I am feeling internally. So that is why when I had the session with Kapil, the thing that happened was like Kapil let me speak more than he was speaking. So I felt heard, and I felt that he's helping me deconstruct my own mind, and it is more an internal focused approach. I think Kapil calls it inside out approach. So I think I resonated much more with the inside out approach. And with this inside out approach, you see, I started this engagement because I was stressed. But just because of this inside out approach, I learned so much more than dealing with just stress, I would say. So that has proven to be a game changer for me.
Beautiful. Uh, Other than stress, what were the other challenges? You said money beliefs, you were running into the cycles of money beliefs, and you could unlock some of the myths of the money beliefs. But stress, money beliefs, what else? What was going on? What was the state of mind really when you reached out to me? Other than
So
stress.
the state of mind mostly was like one of the thing that was going on in my mind was, since I was not enjoying the work, since my performance was not right, I had been contemplating whether it is the right career for me or not. Should I do something else? So that was one thing that was going on. The other thing was there was a lot of overthinking that was going on. So it was like I'm almost living in my own head rather than living in the moment, I would say. So that was also one very big thing that we worked on.
So career clarity, overthinking, and leading to stresses. Can I say that?
Yes, yes,
All right, beautiful. And then we decided for I think 3 months of engagement to begin with,
correct.
and later we continued for longer,
You're right.
right? Yeah. So tell
Correct.
me little bit about our engagement. Do you recall any specific moment which really made an impact in your desires for which you came and connected together?
So I used to take in-person session, and I used to visit couple's home, and there he had made a dedicated space where we think out loud, and I would say we build the life that we want. So I remember that I used to go into the room with a lot of questions in my head, and like with a lot of lack of clarity in my head. But after the session, when I used to walk out, I used to come out with a lot more clarity, plus a lot more things to ponder over, things that I had not thought before, I would say. And so those were the situations that helped me a lot. And the other thing that I enjoyed in our engagement was like we discussed a particular thing, like we discussed overthinking, and we discussed about two minds, and Kapil gave me a book itself to read, which helped me understand what are the two modes of thinking we go, free flow mode versus stress mode. So that experience where I could continue the learning beyond our sessions, so that was also very helpful and impactful for me.
Would you like
One thing
to
that,
share the book name for everyone?
yeah, the book name was Slowing Down to the Speed of Life. I don't remember the author name, but the book name was Slowing Down to the Speed of Life. And that was an excellent book, and that had a like changing effect on me. The other thing was that we also worked on self love, and the book by Louis Hay that we had was also very good, I would say, in that sense. And one moment that I clearly remember during our engagement was like Kapil gave me this advice that next time, like since at that time I was in a lot of stress, he gave me this advice that next time when I start feeling stress, why not just observe it? So I clearly remember I was doing a walk outside my apartment, and I called him and we had our catch up session, and I told him that I am having this stress, and he gave me that, instead of dealing into the stress, why not I observe it for a while? Just see it, as he says, that you don't have to do anything, you don't have to think anything, you just have to see what you are doing. And that approach of stepping back a little and just seeing what is going on in my head, that changed the game for me, I would say, a lot. So these are a few instances which I remember specifically from our conversations.
Tell me something about check-in sessions. What was it all about? Like, if you want to share it to everyone who don't know.
So usually, how our session was structured was, we used to have two sessions which were in person and which were having every 15 days. But apart from that, those sessions were where I used to visit Kapil's home, and these were the longer sessions, almost one and a half to 2 hour session. These were, but since 15 days is a long time, so Kapil, what I used to do is, whatever I had learned, I used to think about it, I used to implement it, and after a week from our session, we scheduled the check-in sessions. Check-in sessions were basically audio calls that I used to have with Kapil. So these were phone calls which I used to have, and these were again conversations which helped me deal with the challenges as I was facing them. So how these used to work was, check-in session, the regular sessions were the mandatory sessions which we used to do, but check-in sessions were optional sessions which were initiated by me as and when I needed them. So usually the agreement was that we'll have two sessions per month, and between the two sessions we'll have one check-in session as well. So I used to schedule that check-in session according to my requirement as and when I felt the need.
Sure. I think that's a good bit of background for people. So often people journey in the coaching is like this and then like this. So how have you been journey, if you look at all, I think 6-7 months now, or maybe even more? What is the overall, like, how has your journey been like? When you started here, you've gone up, then you've gone down, or is it like straight line, or is it like exponential curve? What was that? How do you define? Is it a swing or like straight line? In terms of on your own performance?
Okay. So how it started, I would say, is like the first few sessions, I would say, I was absorbing things and I was having that change internally, I would say.
Yeah.
But on the outside, in the first two sessions, I would say, like, a lot has changed on the inside, but on the outside, things were not very visible.
Yeah.
But after those 2 or 3 sessions, I started seeing those external results as well. For example, in terms of when now my manager used to give me feedback, instead of taking it in a negative cycle and being overthinking about it, I used to see what is the positive in it. So that shift started happening after 3-4 sessions, and with more sessions as they progressed, at the end of 3 months, I was equipped on how to handle the stress better, basically. That was the first change. Then after 3 months, I extended our engagement, and for the next 3 months we we were continuing our sessions. And one other thing that we did was, like, we did the workshop, I would say. I clearly remember the workshop which we did, in which we went to a resort, and there were a couple and me, and we worked on the issues, on the deeper issues, for more than 24 hours, I would say. We were together and we worked on it. So that was really a game changer for me, because in that I understood that whatever issues that I'm having, those have their roots deep in past, right from childhood to growing up to the startup failures that I had. And during that workshop, I learned a new way in which to look at my past, find the find the source of the emotion that is coming from. And then Kapil helped me to learn how to use forgiveness as a tool to let go of those limiting beliefs and stories that I was telling myself. So that was a really transformational session, because as I said, like, I came for stress, but worked on issues much deeper that I think I didn't even have awareness at the surface, I would say.
Yeah, I think I thoroughly enjoyed those 24 hours. I still cherish those
Yes,
moments together about a lot of learning, a lot of mutual learning.
lot of
Yeah.
correct.
Uh, Tell me a little bit more about that. Why did you accept my invitation to have this 24 hours experience together?
Hmm. So the reason for this was, like, when Kapil extended me this 24-hour session, I already had almost 3 months, I
Three,
guess,
four, four
three
months,
months,
I think. 3 to 4 months was over, I
4 months,
guess.
3 to 4 months, I was already in the engagement. So I had seen how Kapil works, and I had this faith or confidence. Something within me told me that if I go for this session, it would really help me. Because when we go for a regular session, these are long conversations, these are 2 hours, but still, at times, there are issues that you want to talk more about, which go to the next session. But when I had this 24-hour session where I could work on my issues at a much deeper level. So I simply knew that this is something that I have to do. And I was getting such a great opportunity that I got a coach, and that too a coach like Kapil, to help me go deeper into those issues. So
Mhm.
that was an opportunity that I didn't want to miss. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Typically, you are so generous. You can you can call me you instead of saying couple. I don't mind. So
Okay.
so thank you. And so after that, like 24 hours conversation over, I think we took a little break and then we started and then again took a break. So I remember we renewed our engagement for 9 months, but you took a break after 3 4 months. So what really
Correct.
happened? What was going on in your mind? Why you took the decision to take a break between, for the bigger engagement you cut short to shorter engagement?
Yes. So, see, after the initial 3 months were over, I renewed our engagement for 9 months.
Yeah.
But after the fourth month, we had this session where a lot of my issues were addressed, I would say.
Mm.
But much more importantly, I learned a way to address these issues on my own. So that
Mm.
was, I think, much more important.
Mm.
And I had this feeling that now I can work on these issues on my own. The first thing was, like, many of the issues were addressed during that session,
Mm.
and I felt like the other remaining things that are there, I should, I can try working them out on my own. So that is why I decided that I will take some break and work out those issues on my own using the process that I learned through the 4 months coaching engagement and the 24 hours session that we did.
Mm. And how did you find this break basically? I'm sure emotions would
So,
have come, gone, a lot of things would have changed, adapted.
yes. So, let me see how to define it, how to put it to words. So, after the break, what I did was I started scheduling time in my day where I was just alone with my journal and thinking through what I am thinking through and sorting through the thoughts on my own head, I would say. And these sessions were helpful. These were very helpful, and I made a lot of progress, I would say, during these sessions where I scheduled dedicated time with myself. But Now I would say after doing it for a lot of time, there are still a few more topics that I feel I'll go on a deeper discussion with you, I would say.
Any specific moment which would definitely help everyone who would like to share, which you will always remember anywhere from you? Like
So
any
that,
specific outcome or the moment, anything.
yes. So this 24-hour session that we did, I remember one moment from this. Like we were addressing this issue, uh, as I said, that I had done a startup and I had to almost begrudgingly leave it and come back to job. So that had this belief in me that I have to do a job to I have to do a job to earn money, and I was almost doing a job because I was feeling forced to do a job. And but it had been 6 7 years. A lot had changed by then. I had found jobs that I love, I had found work that I love, but somewhere deep within my psyche or my consciousness, this belief was still there that I'm doing job just because I have to do it. So that
Mm.
was preventing me from enjoying the work that I was doing.
Mm.
But during our 24-hour session, we were able to go deeper. And when I realized, with the help, with your help, I realized that this is not really true anymore. Like I'm not forced to do it anymore. I'm choosing to do it right now. So that was really a game changer, I would say.
And what was the
That was
feeling
what.
like? What? How did you felt?
So it, you see, uh, I it felt I was is as if I was living my life with a very heavy bag on my shoulder.
Mm.
But since I was carrying it for so long, I had forgotten that there's a very heavy bag on my shoulder because I had gotten used to that feeling. But after that session, it felt like suddenly there's like this baggage has gone. So there was this feeling of lightness, I would say, at that point in time.
Beautiful.
So that was the feeling that I came out of that session.
I can see that on your face now, that lightness while telling
Yeah.
that moment
Yes.
you were sharing this. Yeah. Uh, this inside out approach you mentioned, what was the precise meaning you understood from this approach in our engagement?
Okay. Hmm. So what I understood from this was, like, let me explain this with an example. So I came to Kapil because my performance was not good, and my because of my performance, I was getting feedback from my manager, which was giving me stress. But that feedback was ultimately because of my own actions in the outer world. But if I had worked on an outside in approach, I might have focused on techniques on how I can do better at work, how I can improve my productivity, how I can improve my time management. So that would have been an outside in approach. But with the inside out approach, we instead found the root thought patterns or the core beliefs within me, these that were leading to these actions in the outside world. So with this inside out approach, we acted and we fixed these inside beliefs that we had.
Mm.
And once the inside beliefs were fixed, I would say, then the strategies and actions that I had to take on outer world became clear to me myself. I didn't have to take any help. But addressing those core beliefs was important. So that is what I say is the inside out approach. Once I addressed the beliefs inside, my actions changed on the outside. And I think that is the power which this approach has.
Thank you. Yeah. Which book you are reading these days?
So these days, I'm hearing a book on Audible, which is these days I'm more into getting in better shape and taking care of my body and getting healthier. So two books I'm reading, and both are related to health. One is called The Outlive: The Science and Art of Longevity. And the other book that I'm reading is The Glucose Revolution, which explains about the glucose spikes we have through our food and our lifestyle habits, and how we can reduce those spikes and why it is important to reduce those spikes.
I can see something emerging from you already. Anyways, we will talk in our conversation later. Uh, tell me more about that money thing you have started with. What's your state of mind now with that money belief? And
Yeah.
how it changed? Like, are you reading in a book, or like, what help you got from that standpoint?
So there was this money belief that I had, was that I don't have enough money and I need to keep working to earn money. If I don't work hard, I'll lose my job, I'll lose money, and if I don't have money, then I'm not safe in this world. So I would say this was the core belief that I had. And Kapil suggested a very good book, which was called The Illusion of Money by Kyle. I don't remember the. Yeah. So, yeah. So that book helped me understand that the illusion that we have is we are not actually looking for more money. We are looking for more security. We are looking for more freedom in life. And that book helped me see that. And it helped me see that, yes, I am safe. I already have enough and I am provided for. And I don't have to take I don't have to worry about have this constant fear in the back of my mind about money, about not having security if I don't have money. So that is the realization that I had after this book. So I remember one of the technique that I learned during our coaching session was doing a check-in to see how my inner child is feeling. So I remember that my inner child used to feel a lot less secure, a lot more afraid because of money. But after reading the book and through the sessions that we did, I kind of learned how to console that inner child that everything is okay. I am secure now. And after doing that inner work, I would say I my actions in the external world are a lot less motivated by money, I would say.
Thank you for sharing. Just last question, maybe. Uh, what is the best fit if someone would want to work with me? Who do you recommend this? Like, who should come?
As I said that Kapil, you work on that inside out approach, right? So if someone is not willing to do that inner work, then I think he won't be a very good fit for you. If someone is looking for quick fixes on the outside or looking for tips and techniques on outside on dealing with a particular situation, then and he's not ready to do that inner work, look inside, then I would think he'd not be a very good fit.
Thank you. I think we have almost come to an end. And thank you for this beautiful time of yours. So, Ishan, just one last question. Is there any message you would want to give it to me or to everyone, actually, in general?
Nee, I just want to thank you so much because, as they say, that teacher give a man a fish and he will come to you every time, but teach a man to fish and he will be able to be self-sustainable. So it was coaching with you has been something like that for me. Like you you didn't coach me for a particular situation, I would say, but or I would say you did not just coach me for a particular situation, but you also taught me how to keep coaching myself, I would say. And that has been one of the biggest, that has brought the biggest change in my life. I would say, and I'm eternally grateful to you for that.
And let me clarify one thing, and to everyone who is watching this, that I did not specifically taught you anything, but since you got coached and you have observed how to do that, and you have started working on the assignments we have discussed, and that's when your training actually started. So it was your own commitment that you could fulfill those assignments, and that does really help you to understand how to basically crack this particular moment. So your awareness got risen up, and
Correct.
further it got risen up, and once it reached to the level where you could almost feel like I'm coaching myself. So that was the
Yeah.
situation. And other thing I want to tell you, this inside out approach is so beautiful that it does not fix your one area of the life. It will fix 360-degree areas of the life. It will fix your career, it will fix your relationships, it will fix your money problem, it will fix your stresses, it will fix your spiritual growth, it will fix everything. So
Hmm.
it is so beautiful to serve you in this duration, and I'm looking forward to our next session very soon, next week probably. And
Sure.
let's see what else we can take it from here.
Yes, coach. Definitely.
All right. Lovely
All
speaking
right.
with you. Bye bye, and have a great day.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah.